Hi, Mark from Fleet EV News here. I'm with Jonny, Country Manager Australia New Zealand with Webfleet. We're at the eMobility show and it's a great opportunity to catch up and just ask a few questions about Webfleet and find out what they've been up to. So, Jonny, Webfleet's a global brand. What's been happening in Australia over the last 12 months?
There's been a lot going on, Mark, and obviously today we're here at eMobility Live, so you can imagine it's largely due to the electric vehicle industry. So that's what we're here today to do, to talk about a bit about that, and that's essentially over the last 12 months what we've seen in the industry is that uptake increasing. So Australia is still lagging behind Europe, and we're Europe's #1 fleet management company. There we're seeing percentages around 15-17% across Europe of new vehicle adoption. In Australia we're still under 5%. So fleet managers probably need a bit more encouragement and support to get the data that they need to start making those decisions. And that's what we're here to do, to support that. So over the last 12 months it's increased, and I imagine as we start to see sustainability goals, net zero for a lot of businesses, they need that data, because you really can't measure what you don't manage what you don't measure.
Yeah. So speaking of data, and just going back a couple of steps, you said the biggest fleet management company in Europe?
Yeah, so we're Europe's #1 fleet management company. So
yeah, wow.
we, as you can tell with my thick Queensland accent, I worked for a partner of the business back in Northern Ireland, looking after our Irish customers and UK customers before I came out to work with the business in Australia. And we have a number of key features in Europe that make us pretty unique. You know, tachograph legislation, so where we see in Australia the electronic working diary, things like that, where there's almost optional adoption. In any large commercial vehicle, whether it be a bus, a truck, they have to have a tachograph fitted. So Webfleet has a really brilliant feature called Tachograph Manager. I'd love it to be here in Australia because we would see a mass amount of customers needing it, and we could support them already. But we're obviously our headquarters is in Europe.
So that's pretty exciting. So the biggest fleet management company, but also backed by Bridgestone, the biggest tyre company in the world, I think.
Yeah. So also Australia's and New Zealand's #1 trusted tyre brand.
Yeah.
So we were purchased by Bridgestone EMEA, Bridgestone Europe in 2019. So that was about a 1.4 billion Aussie dollar takeover, largely due to the size of the business we were. So of course we were TomTom Telematics, and then Webfleet has always been what we called our software. And that was the rebrand name. So we're Bridgestone Mobility Solutions with Webfleet as the product.
Okay, so Webfleet's a fairly new brand to the market.
Yeah. Obviously we've been in Australia for well over 10 years, so we've got a large customer base, a large amount of vehicles fitted with our technology. We talked there about the bus and coach industry in Australia. We over 80% of the public transport in Queensland is fitted with Webfleet.
Oh wow.
50% in Victoria, a third, and WA, it could go on. But the technologies here, we've been here, but the only thing our customers see is, where they were getting invoiced by TomTom Telematics, it's now Webfleet. But it's been that for 4 years. So there's an element of still newness with the brand, but there's nothing new about Bridgestone. Age-old, fantastic business, where there's an awful lot of information and knowledge out there in the market. So
and it's been an exciting year for you as well, because you've got a new role.
Yes.
Tell us about what does a country manager do?
I'll briefly talk about it because I want to talk about our business. But yes, I've been here for quite a few years now, and the former sales director, he actually moved back to the business.
Chris.
Chris.
Know him,
Christopher Chisman Duffy, great boss, great friend. He moved back to the UK to work for the business. Actually, still working for Webfleet Bridgestone in a almost merged role called Fleet Care. So it's a product that we will hopefully have something similar here in Australia soon, where Bridgestone customers, Webfleet customers can get a join. So we look after everything from tyre service, maintenance to their telematics, so that collective data collection. But yeah, Chris moved back, and I was fortunate enough to take over his role. So big shoes to fill, but it's purely serving our customers. It's Bridgestone's all about providing a superior product and serving the communities, and that's what we do. So I'm just carrying on that what we've already been doing.
Yeah, excellent. And so the eMobility show, you've got a great stand here. Has there been a lot of traffic through? It's on the first morning.
Yeah, it's been fantastic so far. You know, we've been to so many shows, Mark, over the last few years, and largely they're similar. They're the same. Whereas this is different because there's a lot of people asking questions about where is e-mobility moving. You know, should I adopt electric vehicles? Can I adopt electric vehicles? How do I manage those electric vehicles? And as I said, we provide the data for them to be able to manage that. And you know, I think I messed it up earlier whenever I was saying, you know, you can't manage what you don't measure, but really you can't do that. So that's what we provide. So if we look at, for example, you're in your vehicle right now and you've got 10% left in your fuel tank, you'll go and fill it up. What do you do with an electric vehicle? How do you manage that? What's the capacity? So within Webfleet, you can see your vehicle, you can see the current battery status, the remaining driving distance based on that battery status. So fleet managers can manage it as well as the driver itself. So it's pretty exciting to be at this show and seeing the future of e-mobility in Australia.
So you must have a lot of data from Europe then, because Europe's five years ahead of us.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So essentially, we've got that benefit in one which way where we can see trends and market trends and deliver that into the Australian market, not just on new vehicle uptake, but actually how people are managing their businesses. So we're able to not just provide a service, I wouldn't quite say consultancy, but you know, we can really, you know, give our take, and it's through years of experience. That's the benefit of being a global company.
Yeah, and so that data is going to help with planning infrastructure. So fleets that want to know where to build the infrastructure, which offices or which depots.
We're speaking, in fact, I'll not name names, but some of our partners, shall I say, here at the show today. A lot of the reason that they're asking us for information is, you know, where do they plan to put that infrastructure? So obviously there's a framework for Australia for EV, the first draft, if you will, and a lot of that is about where to put charging stations. So then I think they're aiming for every 150 kilometres along every highway, motorway in Australia that you can do that. And it's that fear factor, because if you run out of fuel, you can pull into any type of servo and get the fuel that you need. With an EV, what do I do? How do I manage that? So yeah, it's quite exciting.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm glad you're having a great show. It's great to see you and the team here. Fantastic stand, and yeah, look forward to learning more about Webfleet and what you're doing in the coming years.
Great to talk to you, Mark, as always.
All right. Thanks, everyone. So that's a short interview with Jonny. It's a great show, over 2 days. It's on again next year, so if you missed it this year, make sure you put it in your calendar for next year, and check out more stories with Webfleet and case studies on fleetevnews.com.au.